New York judge has sentenced the former British socialite to 20 years jail for helping sex offender Jeffrey Epstein abuse teenage girls.
Maxwell was convicted last year for recruiting and grooming 4 girls to have sexual encounters with her then boyfriend. She will appeal her sentence. Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were the wicked masterminds behind one of the biggest sex trafficking rings in US history. Their romance began in New York during the 90s, and from there, the heinous crimes began. But it wasn't until 2019 that Epstein was arrested, accused of paying underage girls for massages, then sexually assaulting them at his homes.
Pretty upsetting to see how many lives he's devastated and to see how long this went on for and nobody did anything about it.
A month after Epstein's arrest, he died in prison. An investigation was then carried out into Ghislaine Maxwell. And in 2020, she was arrested. 6 months ago, she was convicted of luring girls to be sexually abused by Epstein.
I thought I was going to a legitimate audition for Victoria's Secrets.
Maxwell has spent the last 2 years in prison and has only had visitors 3 times. 2 of those visitors were her siblings. The third was American journalist Daphne Barrack, who last week was invited by authorities into the Brooklyn MDC jail. This morning, Sunrise has the world-first scoop about Daphne's exclusive sit-down, filmed for a CBS News TV special.
Daphne Barrack joins us now from New York. Good morning to you. It was only a week ago you were sitting in a jail cell talking with Ghislaine Maxwell. Tell us, how was she?
Very surprisingly, by the way, it's CBS Paramount Plus, right? Susan Zarinsky will kill me project, big time. But she was not suicidal. It's a very tough prison. It's one of the most difficult detention centers in America. And she was not suicidal. The authorities allowed her to have makeup for me, they told me. And she looked actually pretty after all these 2 years in jail that she has been filing 300 complaints, she told me, against treatment words. And she knew today would be very difficult. So basically, she just looked past today and was really focused on the appeal that they're going to announce tomorrow or so, and really looking for the new mission in her life, which will be very surprising when you watch the CBS Paramount Plus special. It's a twist.
So, Daphne, how would you characterise her demeanour then? Is she someone that's still prepared to fight and defend herself and appeal, or is she resigned to accepting that this is the law and this is what she did wrong?
She is a big fighter. I mean, she was very happy. I was the first interviewer in 2 years and the third visitor, just think. And she kept telling me how she's fighting, and she's not only fighting for herself, but for other inmates. And naturally, she regrets she met Jeffrey Epstein and other things, which you'll find in the Paramount Plus special. But she is in a fighter mood, and for her, today is just the end of chapter 1, moving forward to chapter 2, the appeal, and hopefully she's seeing that the verdict of a new trial, if she has a new trial, would be different.
So you said they're launching the appeal tomorrow, did you? Would she have been expecting a 20-year sentence?
I mean, she prepared herself for the worst. And basically, when we were there, her brother Kevin joined me because it was only 3rd visit, so I didn't want to deprive the family. And she was very grateful for the friends that didn't abandon her and gave her, the letters to the judge to say nice things about her. But they prepared themselves anywhere until not 55, but 30, 35. Her lawyers were hoping for 20. So I think it's not good news for her, of course, but let's say it's less harsh than some expected. And the prison that she will go would be much less harsh than the detention center than I visited on Wednesday.
All right, well, she's a convicted sex trafficker. The reality is she could be free in her late 70s. Daphne, does she have any remorse or personal comments to the victims in all of this?
I mean, the remorse, of course, she cannot say because she is appealing, then she's taking responsibility, but she definitely regrets the whole relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And we did speak about some of the victims, like Virginia Jeffrey, and others. We mentioned them, so you'll have to watch the Paramount Plus special. But it's more about the fine line that she's not Epstein, and she regretted that chapter in her life, and probably she regrets more. But since she's appealing, she cannot say I'm sorry, because then she cannot appeal, right?
Just before we go, what was it like getting into that jail? It's a maximum security jail. And what is life, her day-to-day life, like in there? She is the daughter of a very wealthy man. She started off in life a very wealthy woman.
So you're right. I mean, when I went into jail, and I don't do that often as you don't, Bill Ganasti, a senior producer for Paramount Plus, was actually outside with a limo because I was really scared. Although the staff treated me very professionally and nicely. And it's a dark place. And she told me, I mean, the worst thing was probably when they put her in suicidal mode. And that, by the way, happened again after I left, right? I left on Wednesday. She's right now in a suicidal mode. I mean, to be naked under the sheets, she has to beg for toilet paper. They didn't give her a toothbrush, as isolation. It's terrified. So it's very, I mean, so terrifying that when they moved it to the general population only a couple of months ago, that was good news. Could you imagine? So it's not a place you and I want to visit necessarily. You can imagine.
Okay, Daphne, we thank you very much for your insight, and good luck with that special that's coming up.